Hello, dear friends. Here is a surprise. I am here today because our Kerala set is coming up and we are doing a 5-day crash course. And this is 5, tomorrow 4, then 3, 2, 1. So this is a countdown. So I am here with your favorite Ankita Ganguly to
Hi,
discuss questions. Ankita, how are you?
I'm really good.
Did
And
you
I'm
miss me in
studying.
YouTube?
Yes, we missed you a lot.
Like this, I will come. Okay, today we have some questions based on some previous question papers. Every day we will do questions based on previous question papers. How is that? Previous question papers, similar questions will bring you. We have collected questions from 2015 onwards till 2023. Okay, dear friends, shall we move on to the first question? Ankita, would you like me to read this? Which
Huh.
among the following is not a part of the Forsyte Saga by John Galsworthy? The Forsyte Saga is a novel series by John Galsworthy. There are novels and also interludes there. You have to identify which is not a part. This is a novel series also called Roman Flu. Roman Flu. Is it the Man of Property, In Chancery, To Let, or the White Monkey? Ankita, what do you think is the answer?
Yes, so the White Monkey, it's not a part of the Forsyte saga, but it's also a novel by Galsworthy, but not a part of this saga by Galsworthy.
Okay. Forsyte Saga is the Man of Property. Then there is an interlude. In Chancery, To Let. Indian Summer of an Awakening. That is one of the interludes.
Indian
There
Summer of a Forsyte.
Indian Summer of a Forsyte and the Awakening. Those are the interludes. And once they have asked questions based on these interludes. Indian Summer of a Forsyte and also the Awakening. Okay, so the answer is the White Monkey. The White Tiger is by Arvind Adiga, of course. They might ask you, I have an intuition. They might ask you something about Adiga, which is the novel where in a Bombay chawl, there is an apartment. There is an apartment and the people, everybody is vacating the apartment because the builders are coming to rebuild the apartment. And one man, Master G, alone is not leaving the apartment. It is the novel Last Man in Tower. Okay, so we are moving on. But before that, Galsworthy has written many plays. He wrote novels, also plays. Which are the plays of Galsworthy? We have The Skin Game. First is The Silver Box. Strife, Justice, Loyalties. These are very important plays of Galsworthy. Okay. Ankita, your turn to read.
Huh. Which statements are true about Jane Eyre? Here we have four statements. First statement goes, Jane Eyre was published under the pen name Karar Bell in 1847. Next, Jane Eyre is a Bildungsroman that follows the experiences of its eponymous heroine, including her growth to adulthood and her love for Mr. Rochester, the brooding master of Thornfield Hall. The novel is a second-person narrative from the perspective of the maid of Thornfield Hall, Alice Fairfax. Last, its setting is somewhere in the north of England, late in the reign of George III. Which are the true statements?
The novel is a second-person narrative from the perspective of the maid. That looks a little weird. So, is that the answer, Ankita?
Yes, that's only the wrong statement. The other statements are correct.
Jane Eyre was published under the pen name Karar Bell in 1847. I think it was October.
Yes.
Jane Eyre is a Bildungsroman. It follows the experiences of Jane growing up, adulthood, love for Rochester, and its setting is in the north of England, in Yorkshire. Yorkshire is in the north of, towards the north of England. It's during the reign of George III. George III had a long reign, during which time colonialism started and spread. Not started, colonialism spread. And Byron made fun of George III in the Vision of Judgment. Sade praised George III in A Vision of Judgment. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Next question. Which famous collection of essays published in 1986 is subtitled Politics of Language in African Literature? Is it Black Skin, White Masks by Frantz Fanon, Decolonizing the Mind by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, The Empire Writes Back by Bill Ashcroft, Gareth Griffiths, and Helen Tiffin, or is it The Wretched of the Earth, again by Frantz Fanon? Politics of Language in African Literature. Which of these is about English language, how it is destroying African languages and literatures? What do you think, Ankita?
Yes, it is Decolonizing the Mind by Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
That's right. Decolonizing the Mind by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, the Kenyan writer, is about how English language and literature studies is destroying African languages and literatures. Very important essay by Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Please read extra about Frantz Fanon. Frantz Fanon died of cancer, and The Wretched of the Earth was his last work. In our Kerala set, a lot of questions will come based on the context of writing. A lot of questions come based on quotations by writers. A lot of questions come based on the contents of the text. You know, for example, Empire Writes Back, the title. They will ask you, which of the following is an essay from Empire Writes Back? Like that questions I have seen a lot. So the contents page is important for you. In the remaining days, please look up a little bit extra about these works that we are suggesting, because many of these are based on previous year questions. Okay. So Decolonizing the Mind by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, 1986, is subtitled Politics of Language in African Literature. Ankita.
Which of the following works of Amitav Ghosh is based on the refugee occupation of an island in the Sundarbans? Is it Sea of Poppies, or The Hungry Tide, River of Smoke, or The Glass Palace? So here, if you know the setting of one of these novels, you will be able to identify which novel here we are talking about, because one of these novels is set in the Sundarbans of West Bengal.
Everybody might know.
Yes.
This is a very famous novel where Piali Roy is going to research on dolphins, and she meets Fakir. Fakir is searching for, he is working to uncover the suspense behind his uncle's diary. And they undergo a lot of adventures. It is The Hungry Tides. The novels of Amitav Ghosh could be important. He started writing with The Circle of Reason, the story of Alu. Then you might all know The Shadow Lines and the Calcutta Chromosome. It is good if you can remember in the chronological order also. Coming to the last works, the Ibis trilogy. And these days he writes a lot about climate change, things like that also. Okay. Ankita, would you like to tell us about some of the later works? Titles?
Yes, one of the recent works is The Nutmeg's Curse, then Smoke and Ashes, again, which talks about the trade of opium and how it affects the lives of the sailors and their families. So these works are very important. Gun Island, it talks about a bookseller in Kolkata. Again, the
Yeah.
settings are also very important. So these recent works, please remember the titles and the characters and the settings of these recent bestsellers.
And there is a verse novel called Jungle Nama.
Yes,
It's
yes.
about the
Bon
goddess
Bibi.
Bon Bibi.
Yes.
Very good. So moving on, can you read, Ankita, please?
In which book the philosophers Louis Althusser and Pierre Mecheret analyze Karl Marx's Das Kapital? So which work is it? History and Class Consciousness, Reading Capital, The Illusions of Postmodernism, and After Theory. In this work, Althusser and Mecheret talk about Das Kapital of Marx. So which work is it?
Ankita, who wrote History and Class Consciousness? It is not Althusser and Pierre Mecheret, is it?
History and Class Consciousness, it is by Althusser alone.
Alone.
So it was not a collaborative work.
Who wrote After Theory?
It was by Terry Eagleton.
So that is also not the answer. So we have zoomed in. Is it B or C? Ankita, I think it is Reading Capital.
Yes, yes.
Who wrote Illusions of Postmodernism?
I think it was Frederick Jameson, but I have to check again. Yeah.
Okay. So, Das Kapital is also called Capital. It is the great work by Karl Marx critiquing political economy. Das Kapital was written in German, and here he lays out the principles of political economy and communism that forms the foundation of his analysis of capitalism. Das Kapital, I think, it was written when Karl Marx was in the UK, and it was written in the 1860s, published in the 1860s onwards, till the time he died. So the Karl Marx's works, German ideology, Das Kapital, etc., are founding texts of communist or Marxist criticism. It would be good if we look up that also. Compulsory Heterosexuality and Lesbian Existence is a popular essay by which writer? It is a very important essay of lesbian studies, where she talks about compulsory heterosexuality, then lesbian existence and lesbian continuum, 3 terms. Is it Chris Ingraham, Adrian Rich, Eve Kosofsky Sedgwick, or Virginia Woolf? I will give you a clue. Many of you know it. She was also a poet of the confessional school. Ankita, what do you think?
It is Adrian Rich.
It is
but
marked
here it has been marked wrong.
So sorry. Ayyo. It is Adrian Rich. I will... Kosofsky Sedgwick. It is Adrian Rich who is the answer. We will just mark like this for now. Sorry, guys. In a hurry, we made a mistake. Adrian Rich talked about compulsory heterosexuality. People are becoming compulsorily heterosexual. They don't even have a choice in that time. That is what she meant. And lesbian existence means there were lesbians in history. Women have had a sexual relationship with other women. Lesbian continuum means even if women are not sexually lesbians, they can also sometimes share women-identified experiences. For that reason, she created the term lesbian continuum. Now, there is another interesting thing. From compulsory heterosexuality, Robert McCrewer created the term compulsory able-bodiedness. That is a very important concept in disability studies, and it is related to crip theory. Okay, Robert McCrewer. That's great. Okay, Ankita, your turn.
Choose the correct statements about Orlando, a biography. Actually, you can just pick out the wrong statement. Orlando, a biography. It's a novel by Virginia Woolf, first published in 1928. The book describes the adventures of a poet who changes sex from man to woman and lives for centuries, meeting the key figures of English literary history. The eponymous hero is born as a male nobleman in England during the reign of James I. And last option, he undergoes a mysterious change of sex at the age of about 30 and lives on for more than 300 years into modern times without aging perceptibly. Here you have to just pick the wrong statement and the other options are correct.
Yeah, you have said choose the correct statements. So is it we can make it we can choose a wrong statement. Is that how the answer is marked? Okay. Sorry. Orlando, a biography, is a novel by Virginia Woolf. Was it first published in 1928? I think that's correct.
Yes.
The book describes the adventures of a poet who changes sex. I think that's correct. The eponymous hero is born as a male nobleman in England during the reign of Elizabeth, isn't it? Not James.
Yes, Elizabeth I.
Not James I. So that is the wrong option. Choose the wrong statement. This is wrong because it's Elizabeth I. Dear friends, we included this question here because Virginia Woolf is a favorite of Kerala set question paper setters. In many exams, we have seen questions on Virginia Woolf. So that is why we analyzed the question papers and made questions on Virginia Woolf. So please read up extra also on these writers that we are dealing with today. For 5 days, we will collect questions from previous years and we will make similar questions also. And it will help you a lot. Please attend every day at 9 p.m. until Kerala sets. Choose the wrongly matched pair. Sprung Rhythm, G.M. Hopkins. Futurism, Filippo Marinetti. Surrealism, Andre Breton. And Impressionism, Picasso. Sprung Rhythm, G.M. Hopkins is correct. Futurism is also Filippo Marinetti. Filippo Marinetti wrote the Futurist Manifesto. Surrealism, a very important figure, was Andre Breton. Pablo Picasso was associated with Cubism, not Impressionism. Very good. Ankita.
The Millstone is a novel by Dash, first published in 1965. It is about an unmarried young academic who becomes pregnant after a one-night stand and against all odds decides to give birth to her child and raise it herself. It's a very important work by whom? Eyre, Margaret Drabble, Doris Lessing, Angela Carter. Who wrote this novel?
I'm sure it is one of the two sisters here. Who are the two sisters? A.S. Byatt and Margaret Drabble. The answer is Margaret Drabble. The Millstone is a novel by Margaret Drabble. The Millstone, Jerusalem the Golden, then The Needle's Eye, The Ice Age, Realms of Gold, The Witch of Exmoor, The Peppered Moth, then Seven Sisters, A Pure Gold Baby. The first novel was Summer Bird Cage. All these are novels by Margaret Drabble. I remember like this because we have made codes for all this. And when you study like that, you will easily remember. I hope that a question from Margaret Drabble will come in your exam and you will be able to answer it. Arrange the following works in the correct chronological order. Lady Chatterley's Lover, Sons and Lovers, The Rainbow, and Women in Love. The first, earliest novel of this man, DH Lawrence, is The White Peacock. After The White Peacock, in 2 years came Sons and Lovers. And you know that Women in Love and Rainbow are sequel. They are companion novels. First is Rainbow, second is Women in Love. So Sons and Lovers, Lady Chatterley's Lover is later. Sons and Lovers, The Rainbow, Women in Love, and Lady Chatterley's Lover. Is that the answer, Ankita?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Sons and Lovers, 1913. The Rainbow, 1915. Women in Love, 1920. Lady Chatterley's Lover, 1928. Ankita, please.
So it's just a true or false statement. Okay. For Whom the Bell Tolls, it's a novel by Ernest Hemingway, published in 1914. It tells the story of Robert Jordan, a young American volunteer attached to a Republican guerrilla unit during the Spanish Civil War. As a dynamiter, he is assigned to blow up a bridge during an attack on the city of Segovia. Is it true or false? Such questions will also help you to tackle statement-based questions if you know if the statements are true or false.
So in the exam, they often, not always in Kerala set, but sometimes they give 4 long sentences and they ask you to find out which of these is a true or false. Yeah, that such questions come. Ankita, I think all these are true.
Yes, it is true. All these statements are true.
For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway. Which are the other novels of Ernest Hemingway? The Sun Also Rises is the first one. Then other than For Whom the Bell Tolls, there is a Farewell to Arms. And so many more are there. The Old Man and the Sea is one of the last. Across the River and Into the Trees, Movable Feast. Then Green Hills of Africa. And he has also written a lot of short stories. A Clear, well-lighted place, Hills Like White Elephants, A Day's Wait, etc. The Snows of Kilimanjaro. Ah, love, let us be true to one another. For the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams. These are lines from very famous poem. Is it Scholar Gypsy, Dover Beach, Thyrsis, or the Darkling Thrush? I'm sure everybody knows this. This is a short poem showing the confusions related to Victorian dilemma. It is Arnold's Dover Beach. At the end of Dover Beach, after he talks about all the confusions metaphorically through the tide of the ocean, he says, in this world, nothing is sure. And our love, he's telling his newly wedded wife, his bride, our love, let us be true to one another. For this world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams is not going to help us anymore. That is how. Ankita?
Arrange the following novels of Charles Dickens in the correct chronological order. Great Expectations, Our Mutual Friend, Bleak House, A Tale of Two Cities.
How do we solve this? Great Expectations came after A Tale of Two Cities. Our Mutual Friend came after that. Then what is the order, Ankita?
First, we will have Bleak House.
Bleak House, 1852. A Tale of Two Cities, 1859. Great Expectations, 1861. Our Mutual Friend, 1865. Guys, when you study, always try to remember in the chronological order. In our encyclopedia, because things are given in the chronological order, it's very easy to remember if you read it. Because, oh, this came after this, like that, you remember. Ankita, do you remember? I don't know if you remember, if you are old enough to remember that. During the time of cassette players, we all knew which song came after which song because they always played in the same order. Right. Ankita, which of these is a detective novel?
It is Bleak House.
Yeah, there you have Inspector Bucket. Which of these has Miss Havisham?
Great Expectations.
That's right. Great Expectations. From which of these novels was the original title of The Wasteland taken?
Our Mutual Friend.
That's right. Our Mutual Friends. In which of these novels do you have a broken wine casket as a major symbol?
A Tale of Two Cities.
That is right. Good girl. That's all for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed our little discussion. We'll come back tomorrow with similar questions, all based on previous year questions of Kerala set. Kerala set is a deadly mix of very simple questions and quite difficult questions. So we'll pick out the difficult questions and look them up. Bring similar questions so that whatever set you're preparing for, Telangana set is coming up. People are preparing for net retest also. So whatever you're preparing for, our questions will help you with it. So please join us every day at 9. Ankita and me will meet you for 5 days for Kerala set crash course. Bye-bye.
Bye.